All right. Write the equations for the following graphs. Almost all of these, we've got really handy points. They give us the y-intercept here, so y is equal, need the slope. We went up 3, and we went over 2. That's our slope, and then our y-intercept is positive 3. This one, we went up 3 and over 1, so my slope is 3 over 1. And I have an intercept here of negative 2. Again, this is all using just y equals mx plus b and pulling it straight from the graph. 28, I have down 1, so it's going to be negative, and then over 2, using my 2 points. You can also calculate these by hand, but since it's visual, I mean, it's so much easier to count from the graph. And then we have a plus 1 is our y-intercept. Graphing the following equations, again, we're just using the information they give us. So I've got a negative 2 for my intercept, and then I've got an up 1 over 3 for my slope. Looks just like that. I got a little backwards point just by following that 1 and 3. Number 30, I'm going to pull that 2x from both sides, and all this does is put it into y equals mx plus b form. It allows me to graph it just a little bit faster. I like having it where the slope is readily available, which is negative 2 here, and the intercept is readily available, which is negative 3. That's this point right there. And then I just count the graph off. It just makes it easier for me. Sometimes I won't do that. There's one of these on here that I'll show you when sometimes it's not necessarily better, but for me it's faster to do it a specific way. Most of these, though, I'm going to take the time, solve it for y. All you have to do really is watch your negatives. Positive 4 for my intercept. And then, taking a look at my key. And then we're counting off up 3 over 2. You'll notice I don't have space for that up here. You can kind of mark it up there, but you can always go backwards and get that done. This one, I'm going to solve it for y. So I've got y minus 1 is equal to 2x plus 4. Add the 1, and I'm going to get y is equal to 2x plus 5. Again, you can kind of count that off, but the backwards points really help on this particular graph. Slope of 2, intercept of positive 5. This is the one that I did using another method. I'm going to pull the point. If you remember from the quiz, I can pull the point they used. It's negative 3 for x, negative 3 for y. That's this point right here. And it has a slope of negative 3. And a lot of you are going to ask, well, Coach, why would you want to do that? This intercept is going to be negative 12 minus 3. It's going to be negative 15. And I don't really want to scale this graph. So I'm going to use point slope to pull it backwards. Now you can take it, get y plus 3 is equal to negative 3x minus 12, and then pull that 3 from both sides and get y is equal to negative 3x minus 15. But you're going to have to scale your graph or dump it way down here on 15, however you want to do it. But I choose to pull it from the point slope, and that'll give me a much cleaner looking graph that shows up on the grid they gave you. Y equal 4, you will see horizontal and vertical lines. If you had a vertical line, example x equal negative 2, remember that would be a vertical line at x equal 2. You might see one of each on your test. Be ready. Taking it down to this next part, write the equation in slope-intercept form. Be very careful. They're going to give you specific equations from time to time if they want. It's just what you got to start again with point slope. So y minus 2 is equal to negative 2 over 3. X minus 6. I'm going to distribute the 2 over 3. So y minus 2 is equal to negative 2 over 3x plus 4. Add the 2 to both sides, and my final equation, y equals negative 2 over 3x, and then plus 6. Slope is 0. That's going to be a y equals. Since we've got a 4 in the y position, y is just going to be equal to negative 4. Now you can take this and go y minus negative 4 is equal to 0, x minus negative 2. The 0 cancels out that whole side. We subtract 4 from both sides. This is canceled out, and you're going to get that same answer. So it's okay if you don't recognize that slope 0 means we're just going to have y equal to none. These next two, this is supposed to be a parentheses. These next two, you're going to have to calculate that slope first. So I've got 0 minus negative 4 over 2 minus negative 1. That gives me 4 over 3. I'm going to use this point because it's got a 0. Y minus 0 is equal to 4 over 3. X minus 2. And all I have to do there is distribute the fraction. And that way I don't have to do any extra math. Anytime you see a 0, I would take it. That's going to be 8 over 3. I would take it. It just makes everything a little bit easier on your life. This one, -2 minus -3 over 4 minus 2 is going to be 1 over 2. I'm going to pick this point just because. So I've got y minus -3 is equal to 1 over 2, x minus 2. Distribute the 1/2, y equals 1/2 x minus 1. And then I'm going to subtract the 3 from both sides, and I'm going to get y is equal to 1 over 2x minus 4, and that's going to be that answer right there. Going on to the next page, writing the equation. Again, it does not specify, so I'm going to leave all these in Poinslow form. We want to be parallel to this line. It has a slope of 1 over 4, so I'm just going to dump it in there. Y minus y1 is equal to m, and then x minus -2, so it's going to be a +2. This one, write an equation, so it does not specify. We want to be parallel. It should say y equals this much. -3 is my slope, so I'm going to say y minus 3 is equal to -3 x minus 4. Write an equation. Goes through this point, perpendicular. So our slope is currently -2 over 3. That means my perpendicular slope needs to be positive 3 over 2. This whole fraction is negative, so this whole fraction needs to be positive. I just have y minus -5 is equal to 3 over 2, x minus -4. Again, if you wanted to solve all these for y, this would be y equals -1 over 4, x, oh man, that's going to be -1/2 plus 1 is +1/2. This one's going to be y equals -3x, 12 plus 3 is 15. This one's going to be y equals 3 over 2x, 6 minus 1, plus 1 rather. You can always take and solve it for y, but again, I'm going to skip that step because it says just write an equation and does not specify. Perpendicular, this one's -3 over 1, so positive 1 over 3, and I'll get y minus -1, using this point again, equals 1 over 3, x minus -3. Mr. Happy Feet, this one, yearly rate. You start with 250, you end with 1700. All right, so 1700 minus 250. That's how much money we've gained. Because we started with 250, we gained to 1700. And then we started at year 0 and we ended at year 4. So in 4 years, we gained $1,450. Per year, get my numbers out. Per year, that means we made $362.50. Per month, you take this number, you divide it by 12. So to do that, you take it, divide it by 12, and you'll get $30.21 per month. What a fantastic interest rate that will be all day if you can get it. This one, what is the rate of change? We went from 50 feet to 38 feet, and it took us 6 seconds to get there. All right? So that means we're dropping 2 feet per second. 2 feet per second. This one actually should be, if I really want to write it the correct way, I would do 38 minus 50 over 6 minus 0. And that'll give us the negatives in the spots that we want. It took us 6 seconds to fall 12 feet. So we're falling 2 feet per second. What would the height be after 4 seconds? Well, in 4 seconds, we've fallen 8 feet. 8 from 50 is 42. After 15, 2 feet a second, so 30. 30 from 50 would be 20. All right, looks like we're going to make one more video, and we'll be done.